Good morning, boys and girls. How are you today? So, today's lesson is about capital letters and when to use them. And so, we have been learning a lot about vowels. And so, now we're going to go back and practice some skills and some rules that will help us learn how to write things properly. All right? So, let's just jump in. Have you ever wondered why are there capital letters and why are there lowercase letters? So every letter has a capital letter and every letter has a lowercase letter. Why is that? And when do we use them? And so this is capital I or uppercase I, and this is lowercase I. So when do we use them? When do we use capital I? And when do we use lowercase I? Or here's the letter C. All right, and the letter C, it looks a little bit the same, like it's the same shape, but one is bigger and one is smaller. So when do we use the capital C and when do we use the lowercase c? Well, that is what today's lesson is about, because there's a lot of different times we use capital letters and we use lowercase letters. We do not write everything in all capitals, and we do not write everything in all lowercase letters. So you have to learn the rules of when to use them. And I put a bunch of the rules behind me on the wall, but I'm going to explain them step by step, so don't worry. So the first rule of when to use a capital letter is the letter I. And I just showed you the letter I. We have capital I and we have lowercase I. So when do we use capital I? So when we're talking about me or yourself and you're saying I like to run, I need to go, then you capitalize it. So here are some sentences. When can I go? So when you're talking about me or yourself, you always give I a capital letter. Mom and I run outside. So whenever I'm talking about myself and I, you make it a capital letter, and you can see the rule next to me on the screen. The second time we use a capital letter, besides the letter I, when it's talking about yourself, you always capitalize names, and I have it right here, names of people and pets. So if it's somebody's name or an animal's name, you use a capital letter. So I have some examples here. Tobden. And so see, I didn't capitalize every letter, I just capitalize the first letter of anybody's name. So here's Topden and I have a capital T. Or here's Kunzang and I have a capital K. Or Sonam and I have a capital S. But I don't have all the letters capital, only the first one in somebody's name. So you can write your name, and when you write your name, you have to use the first letter is a capital letter. So my name is Colleen. So I would write capital C O, then lowercase L E E N. And that is how I would write my name, with a capital letter as the first letter. The next rule with capital letters is the first letter of a sentence gets a capital letter. So here are some sentences, okay? My name is Colleen. So the first letter of every sentence gets a capital letter, every time. So, and we've already talked about that actually before when we were learning how to write sentences. But the first letter of every sentence gets a capital letter. It is hot outside, so capital I. But you don't see the whole sentence with all capitals. It's just the first letter, all right? He can jump. Oops, I erased it with my hand holding it. He can jump, so capital H, because that is the first letter of a sentence. The last rule that we're going to practice today is that even the names of places get capital letters. So we talked about the names of people get capital letters like Colleen or Kunzang, but then also the names of places get a capital letter. So I have some places here. This says Bangkok. So remember, not all the letters get a capital letter, only the first one. Or here is Thimphu. We live in Thimphu. So Thimphu gets a capital T. Or here's Punakha. So Punakha gets a capital P. But that's it. That's the only capital letter. You only capitalize the first letter in a name of a place or a person or an animal. And then, so now we're going to go look in our book. So boys and girls, I want you to get your English worksheets book and turn to the handwritten number, page 72, and it has a fish tank on it, okay? So turn to page number 72, and we're going to start doing some of these pages together. Okay, so we are on page number 72, and it says at the top, a sentence always begins with a capital letter. So here are some examples. Is that your train? And then capital I. Let's plant the flowers. And then capital L. That's just the first letter of the sentence. Then the second rule we also learned today, the pronoun I is always spelled with a capital letter. When I means you or me. I forgot my lunch. So I is capital. Lucy and I is a capital letter. Baked bread. All right? So here's your work for today. Look for the words that should be capitalized or should have a capital letter. Mark the letter with 3 lines below it, and then write the capital letter above it. So let's look at sentence number 1. My best friend Harry has a fish tank. Let's read it again. My best friend Harry has a fish tank. Well, what is missing, boys and girls? Okay, so the first letter of a sentence needs a capital letter. So the direction said put 3 lines below the word that needs a capital letter. And then write the capital above it. So now that would be the proper sentence. My best friend Harry has a fish tank. The capital letter is just the first letter of the sentence. Let's look at the second sentence, and then this is the last one I will do with you, and then you can finish the rest. Okay, sentence number 2. Harry and I went to the pet store. Now, what is missing in this sentence? The first letter should be capitalized, so please draw 3 lines under it. Harry, then write the capital H above it. Harry and I. Uh-oh. Now the letter I should also be a capital. So I'm going to draw 3 lines under it. And then write the capital on top. And that is what the sentence should look like. Harry and I went to the pet store. Okay, so now I want you to finish sentence number 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own. And then send me your answers. Now go to page number 73 that I wrote right here. And at the top it says, capitalizing names. Names begin with a capital letter. A person's name starts with a capital letter. A pet's name starts with a capital letter too. Here's some sentences that are some examples. My sister's name is Emma. And see, it's a capital E. I have a cat named Socks, and it's a capital S. So this says match it. The child and pet in each picture need a name. Choose a set of names from the box. Write them next to the picture. Make sure you start each name with a capital letter. So here is a pet. We'll zoom in a little closer. Here's a person and a pet. So I want you to choose some names from the box. It doesn't matter which names actually. So choose what you want to give this girl's name and this pet's name. So it says, here's some examples. Lily and Lucky. Ben and Bubbles. Carlos and Coco. Greg and Gus. Stella and Star. So these are the examples of names. But what's missing? There are no capital letters. So you need to pick the names and write them on the lines, but make sure that you write them with a capital letter. So I'm going to name this one Lily and Lucky. So this will be Lily and this will be Lucky. So I'm going to write Lily. Now I'm not just going to copy it because there's something wrong with that name. Lily gets a capital letter. Lily. And Lucky gets a capital letter. The spelling is here, but this needs a capital letter. Lucky. So now it says Lily and Lucky. Okay, I'll do one more for you. What should we name this boy and this bird? I think I'll choose Greg and Gus. But look, is this a capital letter? No. So we need to change it and write Greg with a capital G, Greg, and Gus. And see, it's capital letters. That is how, and then you can finish the rest and send me a picture. Okay, so now we're going to do page number 74. So it says, rewrite each sentence. Make sure to use capitals where they are needed. So I'll do one together, okay? So it says, I have a new red bike, okay? So I'm going to rewrite it. I gets a capital letter, always. Have a new red bike. So I only changed what needed a capital letter, and I didn't forget the full stop either, the period. I have a new red bike, and now it's written correctly. So now you can do number 2 and 3 on your own. Read each question. Answer it with a sentence that starts with I. So now this is your turn to write your own sentences. How old are you? So I'm going to write my answer. I am 36 years old. Full stop. So capital I am 36 years old. So now you answer the sentence for yourself. What is your favorite food? Okay, so then you write, I like pizza, or whatever is your favorite food. What is one thing that you like to do in the summer? I like to swim, or whatever you like to do in the summer. Okay, so finish this page and you can send me a picture. The last page that we're going to do this week together is capitalizing the place names. Answer each question. Make sure to start each place name with a capital letter. What is the name of your street? So some of you may not have street names, but most of you should. So I live on Rabtinlam. So I would say, I live on Rabtinlam. So see, capital R and capital L, because that's the name of my street. What city were you born in? I was born in Thimphu, or wherever you were born. What is a state you would like to visit? So states are in America, so you can just pick what is a place you would like to visit. I want to visit Bangkok or Punakha or somewhere you would like to go. What country do you live in? What is the name of a place you go a lot? It could be a school, maybe it's a store or a library. So write the name here. And be sure to always capitalize the name of the place. Great job, boys and girls. That is a lot to practice. But I hope that if you have any questions, you can send me a message. Okay, so let's go over it one more time. That what we're learning today is what gets a capital letter. Names of people and pets, the letter I, the names of places, and the first letter of a sentence. Next week, we'll go over some more. There's a few more things that get capital letters, like the months of the year, the days of the week, or holidays. Those also get capital letters, but we're going to practice those next week. So boys and girls, I'm so proud of how hard you're working. And then, I hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget to send your work to Madam Colleen in WhatsApp. All right, bye, boys and girls.